I'm Eric Backman. My affiliation really begins as a board member with Friends of Petaluma River. It occurred to me that if Friends of Petaluma River were to create a program to support teachers' development of curriculum in the form of stipends, recognizing their professionalism, in the form of time to build curriculum, in the form of local experts who could support the development of curriculum, and also in terms of professional development. We really want young people thinking about the implications of their action and the way their choices impact geography and the environment.
Come a little closer on this side.
Lily.
Tyra. Daniel. Jose. Kevin. Corby.
Our salmon are a special fish, right? They live in freshwater and saltwater.
Friends of Petaluma River, its driving mission is to celebrate and conserve the watershed and the river. We, the whole way, have stuck to the vision of supporting teachers in the design of their own curriculum. We want teachers teaching what they're passionate about within their area of expertise. And I think that's the strength of the program.
You can plant as many plants as you want today, but really we're going to focus on quality work, so don't feel like it's a race to do as many as you need to.
So we're actually on the Tole Creek Ranch side of Tole Park, which is private right now, but in a couple years is moving toward public land. What the students are planting here are part of 3,000 plants that will be planted in this watershed. The fact that the Petaluma watershed is so local, and our students in second and third grade, it seems like it's a perfect opportunity for them to connect with their space, with where they are in the community, and to have the opportunity to actually be able to walk to the river and be with our classmates and see where it all goes is really phenomenal.
Very tired. Very tired.
Today we're on site, and the kids are having this concrete experience of being able to actually be in the watershed and actually helping to keep we'll go back to the classroom and talk about the erosion and talk about where does the water flow and what does it take with it. So this ties in really nicely to have a really clear image of what it is to be in the watershed.
So you can look over for like 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Plant inspection!
So now what I'm looking for is to make sure that you scraped away enough of the weeds around it, and you definitely did. You guys did a really good job.
What excites me is we're here with STRAW, students and teachers restoring a watershed. And we're here with Friends of the River. And we've got Land Trust involved now that I just found out today. So we've got the classroom and all of the community coming together in one place, and it's a really good feeling. Really nice.
Keep pushing. There you go. Okay. High five, Henry. All right.
I'm Anthony Cody, and I'm on the national faculty of the Buck Institute for Education. And I'm here working with a group of teachers who are from the Petaluma schools with a project that's sponsored by the Friends of the River here, focused on developing project-based learning projects focused on watershed and river and creeks. So we've been working together for the last couple of days. The projects really all have in common that they have something to do with the watershed. But that really varies because high school teachers may be looking at hydrology and engineering and the impact of erosion on the stream beds. Some of the teachers are looking at index species, indicator species to see what the health of the creek is. It really, some of the teachers are working on redesigning parts of their school, getting the students outside into the creeks and sampling water and doing all sorts of stuff related to a healthy ecosystem in Petaluma.
because my students, I think, could benefit from taking a look at what your students have done, because we're looking at restoration.
It makes me think kind of outside of the box, and it's cool.
The question is, how can we care for and teach our community to care for our watershed?
Even if we start with all animals, we really need to plant plants.
It's a really good way to show erosion.
And then I asked the kids, do you want to present your slideshow to another class? And so the third graders felt very comfortable saying, oh, I'll go to kindergarten, or first grade, second grade. So they went to the younger classes. And then that would be that group's little book that they're creating, which really simplifies it.
Today we're at Buck Institute of Education project-based learning training. We've got 22 teachers inside. There are an additional 8 to 10 teachers involved. So the projects vary now from social studies, lots of science projects. We have biology teachers involved for the second year in a row. We have a photography teacher who's involved, so we're going to introduce the arts this year, which is really exciting. Lots of new uses of technology out in the field. Important to mention the water testing that's being done on tributaries throughout Petaluma by elementary school kids working with high school kids. It's incredibly exciting collaboration and an amazing use of 21st century technology. I think it's really worth noting the importance of having Buck Institute involved. It's a world-class professional development organization that's supporting teachers in the development of the highest quality Common Core curriculum, I think, anywhere.
My name is Michael Buchman, and I work at Casa Grande High School, and this is a 10th grade science class, biology class. We're doing a biodiversity unit. This is about our third week on this unit, and today we're having some students come from Live Oak to, look at some of the native plants that we have on campus.
Yeah. Sticky monkey flower.
Sticky monkey flower.
Sticky. Check it out.
Number 10 is rosemary.
It smells like lemon. We have
Rotor, eat it.
You can bake it. You can put this in a cake or something. So this whole row of them. We'll go to number 7.
L-A-N.
We have 7 different stations, and a couple of them are like field guides that teachers put together about Schollenberger Park, some of the plants and animals there. So they're looking at those, and then just writing down a couple of animals and a couple of plants that they'd find in Schollenberger Park. Station 2, I think they're looking at using the microscopes to look at insects that you'd find in a wetland area and viewing them under 10x, which gives you a lot more detail. And then they're drawing a few pictures based on those insects, and then looking up their names and some of the habitats that you'd find them in. Station 3 is looking at mosquito larvae, and also the idea that we brought some mosquito fish in, which helps them to minimize the number of mosquitoes in the environment. At the same time, they're like filter feeding stuff into their mouth. And then Station 5, I think, talks about native plants that you find in the area, and they're looking at them, feeling the leaves, and determining whether these are deciduous or evergreens. Station 6 here is looking at steelhead trout from the hatchery.
So in this station, she's learning about the different life stages of the different, so this is of a steelhead trout, because I work with steelhead trout.
Jaylyn's from the hatchery. She came over and she's doing a little activity about steelhead trout that they raise over here and then release in the creek. So I think one of our themes is what is the benefit of the watershed? Why do we have the watershed? How does it benefit us? Along with the other animals and organisms that live in there. And prior to this unit, we did a unit on food webs and how each organism has a certain niche that fits in necessarily to allow other organisms to survive, including us. And the kind of things that the watershed does for us: clean water, provide flood control, and a number of other things. And I think once students understand that, they'll appreciate it more, and I think the ultimate goal is to protect it.
My name is Elaine Peterson. I've been working in Petaluma City School Districts for over 30 years. And today we're making lemon balm, lip balm, which is really good for viruses, to keep viruses away. And so the students are using herbal products in these 4 lab stations, putting the product together. They have herbal essence oils that they use and decide which essence is the best for their need. They have colorant if they want it. They're using beeswax. And lemon balm that we grew on campus as a project for the Olay project that we have, and it's working into the watershed project. And so these students are doing lip balm while the students behind you are making herbal soaps. And the soaps actually help them. They can choose again from essential oils, and all these essential oils come from plants. And so, why do we need to take care of the watershed? Why do we need to take care of the environment? Most of our medicine comes from the environment originally. And so they're learning how important that is. What wonderful thing can we put into our curriculum that reaches those standards, those new standards, and it's meaningful? I mean, look at the kids around this classroom. They are so excited about their project. It's just been a wonderful change. And we were truthfully a little worried about it when we first started working, and it's been a lot of time and energy, but it's become this beautiful program that a lot of teachers are saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And the kids are coming to my room that I don't know, trying to find out what we're doing.
Hi, I'm Chris Camacho, and I teach here at Petaluma High School, AP Environmental Science. As part of the Watershed curriculum program, our students were working on learning about the water system and learning about water treatment here in Petaluma. We went down to Ellis Creek water treatment facility so that they could see where the wastewater goes to when it's recycled and cleaned. At the Ellis Creek water facility, we went into the facility and were given a tour by several of the people who work there. They showed us the different parts of the treatment process. The students got to ask questions. They got to see the lab and experience a little bit of what they do there at the facility.
The basic concept of a treatment plant is a collection system. So anything, water or solids that get into the collection system have to be dealt with here at the plant.
This is the digester. This is kept at about 100 degrees.
This is the mixed liquor I was talking about, the activated sludge. Now it's kind of like the clarifier, so it's separated. That was poured about 30 minutes ago. And actually in short order it'll start separating. You can see the clear water. We pull that off. This is before the filters, although it's been running, things have been running really well and it's quite clean. You can kind of see a subtle difference. This is after the filter and after some of our coagulants or flocculants that we use to pull additional particles out of the water.
The students loved the trip to Ellis Creek water treatment facility. They come back excited about it, and they tell me at the end of the year that that's one of the things that they won't forget. As part of understanding how water gets cleaned and treated, the students created their own mechanical water filters so that they could attempt to just filter water so that it looks cleaner.
And then we're going to do cotton, sand, charcoal, pebbles, and then bigger rocks.
The students, when they made their own mechanical filters, they researched how to filter water, and some of them brought in materials from outside based on what they had researched. Some of them just used the materials that I had in the classroom.
We're using cat litter, gravel, and sand to filter out water.
So we put the dirtier water in here, and we turn the hot plate on, and then when it boils, the steam rises, the water vapor will rise up through this, and it'll eventually condense up into this, what do they call that?
We're going to use charcoal, gravel, sand, and cotton and cheesecloth to try to filter water.
We got sand, we got some pebbles.
Got this.
Cotton.
We're doing science, man.
Rocks, they're boiling right now.
I would run fresh water through.
Oh my god, look how clean it is.
Oh, damn. Get a little bit.
You already poked it through.
Oh.
This is genius.
all of them said that it was much more difficult than they imagined it would be to filter water, even though we were just filtering it, mechanically and just filtering it to a point that it looks cleaner. You're going to have 90 seconds to filter your water, and then we'll see what's in your collection. And pour.
It looks like vomit. Don't splash it on me. Oh,
It's literally vegetables, but yeah.
Come on, baby. The more we run through this, the more it's going to clean out. Just hit the rocks first.
5 seconds. This one does look clearer.
So I feel like the coffee filters kind of kept all of the muck up at the top.
And then we actually used like charcoal and beads. At one point we had cat litter in there, and then cat litter, when it gets wet, it gets like kind of murky.
Yeah,
No chemicals, no axe products, anything like that. We basically just used rock, sand, charcoal, and cotton and cheesecloth.
So
okay.
We may have accidentally, well not accidentally, just skipped on the time requirement altogether because it took longer to heat up the water and get it to start the boiling than we actually had.
Yeah. I think this one has better clarity than this one. For 2 competitions, these are the 2 winners. The lab reports and the field trip report that I get after the Ellis Creek trip and the water filtration lab are just phenomenal. The students have such a better understanding of the content that we're trying to cover because they've had firsthand experiences and hands-on experiences with the information. So the lab reports come back with, you can see that there's a deeper understanding, a deeper appreciation for what it is that they're learning.
Our goal, year 5, year 6, is that every student in Petaluma City Schools and the surrounding school districts, every kid at every grade level would learn some aspect of the river and the watershed. So that grades K through 12, students in Petaluma, their knowledge and appreciation for the river and watershed are deepening and growing, becoming more complex, so that when we graduate in the 12th grade, every student in Petaluma, and each year that's about 750 kids, would be experts in their understanding of the watershed and the river. Back to geoliteracy, these are kids who would really understand how vitally important the river and watershed is to Petaluma, to our future. This is especially true given the reality of climate change and the drought.